Sending data. Online. Okay, we're online on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start. Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle. I am here with a new podcast called Shop Black. If you're looking on Facebook, we're just waiting for YouTube to catch up here. We are streaming live. Okay.
Mhm.
Oops. Let's see, what did I do wrong here? Okay, let me stop sharing. Hold on. That's what I gotta. I know I got a lot of stuff on my screen here.
Work it out.
Okay. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Still learning these controls. Okay, can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my name is Michelle, and I am the host and the founder of Bob Rewards Club. And I'm so glad everybody's here. This is a new podcast that we just started where we could, we want to showcase black owned businesses here in the United States. And, I feel like a lot of black businesses do not get enough attention, so that's why I founded this. I've been doing marketing for over 25 years, marketing, sales, and advertising, and so this is my way of giving back to my black community. So today I have a very special host. Her name is Jasmine Gant. She has some very wonderful products that she's going to show you during the presentation that we're going to be doing here with you all today. Um, And then also our topic for today is operating a black-owned business. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jasmine introduce herself to you all. Okay.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Gant. I'm the owner of Aroma Stories, Hood Glory, Earth and Funk, Shea Plus. They're all .com. Um, I started making products in high school, and I never stopped. I only got better uh, throughout college. Whenever you had to use a mock business, I did my own. And when I got out, I did my first festival in Van Nuys. It was called the World Fest. It was very earthy and bohemian. And this is what I do. And everything else that I do is a spin-off of this.
Okay.
For other people, I'll do labeling, packaging, web design. I've even teamed up with people who have businesses because they have the business, they have the fans, but they might not have that packaging, that look, that shelf worthiness.
Hmm.
So sometimes people can't afford to pay you outright, but that's okay. I'll just make it to
Yes.
and, some people you mesh with so well that you realize you guys can have a brand baby together and
Hmm.
really drive it hard to a place that's unknown, unseen.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful journey, and yeah,
Well, that's wonderful. So now, tell me a little bit about. So you're from California. You live in California, and
yeah.
okay,
Uh, Born and raised in Los Angeles, inner city LA.
okay,
I went to the famous high schools, Crenshaw and Dorsey, for
oh,
summer school. I
okay,
went to Middle College High School on the campus of LA Southwest College.
okay.
So I went to Audubon. I'm an absolute local. I went to Mount St. Mary's College and Mount Sierra College. I have a background in biochem and
Okay.
information technology.
Oh, okay.
All that has, lent itself to what I do. But really, it all comes from my upbringing and my grandmother and
Right.
my family's allergies. We have
Uh-huh.
sensitivity to pesticides and preservatives and the nitrates in the meats. And
Okay.
so, before there was Whole Foods, there was Mrs. Gooch's. And so
Okay.
we would have to leave the hood. I knew all the back streets at a young age because with my grandmother, we would have to leave the hood to go to Erewhon and, like I said, Mrs. Gooch's to
Mhm.
find products that were organic. My
Okay.
grandma found out about organic foods early in the 80s when her daughter went to Cal State Northridge. She
Okay.
knew that her children had these sensitivities and she knew that it was the food. And so, after a long time of failing to properly nourish them with foods that their bodies would not react to, she learned about organic foods and she became incredibly ingredient conscious. And so, that ingredient consciousness became part of my subculture. And so we'd be in Mrs. Gooch's, I'd be tagging along, and I'd see something that I wanted. And so my grandmother would say, well, what's in it? And so I'd have to flip it over and read the ingredients. And if it cleared her list, didn't have any corn syrup, no preservatives, no food coloring, just nothing crazy. If
Okay.
it had a clean ingredient list,
Uh-huh.
she'd say, okay, she'd take it from me, she'd look it over, check out the nutrition contents, read the ingredients again,
Mhm.
and I could have it. If it was clean, I could have it. It didn't have to do with the price. It was
Mhm.
about what's in it. And
Right.
so
Well, that's good. That's a
that
good upbringing.
yeah, it's priceless and it's precious, and it is why I have this subconscious database of how to make things. This
Mhm.
database of ingredients in my brain because I can't buy anything, be it a cleaning product, be it a energy bar
Mhm.
or I can't buy it without knowing what's in it.
Right. Right. Well, that's good. Then you must be incredibly healthy.
I
That's for
try.
sure.
I try, but that doesn't mean I don't eat poorly. That doesn't mean I don't consume corn syrup,
Okay, because
and
that's a hard
I
one.
don't want to eat a sausage sometime.
Yeah.
But I'm conscious of it.
Yeah, because that's a hard one for me, But okay, let's get back on topic here, because today we're going to have a very wonderful show. And as you can see, we can digress a little bit. I also want to welcome everybody who wants to call in. So you can call in if you can see the number behind me. Call in, after, I'll tell you when you can call in again, but 888-665-5955. That, press option number 1 and option number 1 again. You can call in and you can voice a concern or ask a question to one of us. That is being controlled right here from our office here, okay? So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on our agenda today, and I am going to just pop that open. Okay, and you can see my screen as well, right?
I just see you.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna stop it. Well, if I can get it to stop. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. So today's discussion is operating a black-owned business. Okay. What are the benefits and disadvantages of being a black-owned business? Excuse me here. I'm trying to get my screen to stay. Okay. And the key functions of operation management. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the presentation here. I need to show my full screen. And I need you to stop for 1 second. Okay. Well, with that being said, I'll work on that while we go ahead and get started. So, all right. So let's talk about one of the key roles in operating a business. Okay, we have a difficult time, as you know, Jasmine, when we we operate our businesses. And I think, a lot of us, we start businesses not knowing what you're getting into. A lot of people lose money because they don't have a very good marketing plan. And then once they're going, they still might not have a very good marketing plan. And they're forgetting to do the things that you would learn if you would go and take some classes somewhere about, business operations, right? So, and that's for any type of business. That's for, if you're starting a restaurant or doing what you do, where you have your own product line and you're manufacturing, your product, and if you have, if you start a professional business, like being even a private practice attorney or a, So I'm hoping that this podcast today gives some insight and help to black-owned businesses, and what some of the things that you need to take and into understanding, and also to kind of show your product and how you've done things in operations management to support your business. Okay, Jasmine? So with that being said, the first thing I do want to talk about, I want to show your product here, which is, okay, hopefully it stopped for me, but my problem is I'm having a hard time getting this to stop.
I have them all with me if you just want me to hold them up.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Let me pause. Okay. All right, I think I got it figured out. Maybe, hopefully. Okay. Hopefully, I paused it, so let's hope that it is. No? Well, I think that they need to have a better control. But here, for that, I'm sorry, dealing with the technology here. Okay,
Okay.
so your brand here, Hood Glory and Aroma Stories. Tell people about how that got started, the vision for the logo itself, which is wonderful. And in the past, I just want everybody to know that Jasmine is a Bob member, okay? And all of our Bob members, you do get discounts when you join. So just to throw that in, if you want to join Bob, and there are a lot of key wonderful things that you get as a benefit when you join Bob. You can go to the website, which is bobrewards.club. So with that being said here, what inspired you to come up with the little girl holding her hands like she's in serenity, and what kind of inspired you for that?
So, I used to be called My Imagine, or rather, I was Imagine Aromatherapy. Then the notion of trademarking came to me. And when I tried to trademark Imagine, of course, it was already taken.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Naming one's business is a big deal. I guess it's not the biggest deal, but the reality is you want someone to be able to find you. If they like your product, you want them to be able to spread the word and then find you again. And so that's why we name our businesses. So, and then you don't want anybody else using your name, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the notion of trademarking. So when I went to trademark Imagine, there was a woman in Germany with a name that was similar. So you had the likelihood of confusion there. And so I was denied. And so I put a my in front of it, my Imagine, and I just continued to operate knowing that I needed to change my business name. Back when I was my Imagine, every scent had its own logo. Lavender was quietly, and it had a purple smell on it for slowing down. Patchouli musk was Scorpio, and it had a scorpion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Eucalyptus peppermint vanilla was enchanting, and it had the Aroma Stories girl on it.
Okay.
So after about a year of not thinking, sometimes when you need something to come to you, you need to be still and quiet. And I mean completely.
Uh-huh.
You need to just let go and go to that place that probably has many names and no name all at the same time. And in that place, you have epiphanies. And it might not, the first epiphany you get might not be the epiphany you were looking for, but it was an epiphany nevertheless.
Okay.
And so Aroma Stories was an epiphany when it came. I knew. And
Okay.
when I got to .com, it was available. And when you find that name that favors you, you have to do your hunt. You have to go online, see what it's been used as, see if it's
Uh-huh.
being used. Maybe it's being used in a genre that you don't intend on using it as. Maybe you want to do body care, but it's only being used in clothing. That means it's available. The name has to be something that you can say and people can spell. I have .com business stories as not just aroma, Stories, but also as Storys for all those people that spell differently.
Okay.
And they'll still get to my website.
Okay.
So the Aroma Stories girl was already in existence. I just had no idea that I was going to pull her into the forefront. I'm an artist and a writer, so I'm always creating. I'm
Okay.
always drawing and doodling and writing.
She's
So,
beautiful. I mean, it's
thank,
wonderful.
thank
I love, she just looks like she's in such peace and serenity, and the colors are very nice, and I
you.
love the hair, and wonderful. And
Yeah,
then,
my hair like this, and with the buns on the side. And so the buns are just kind of different now. Now they're wrapped, wrapped up
uh-huh.
in a pin, but Yeah, and then people would say, "Is that you?" And, you know, I never really thought of her as me. And then I had this realization that everything I create is me.
Uh-huh.
They're all pieces of me because I made them, so they're me.
Okay.
Everything I write, draw, do,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, they're nice. The colors, tones are nice too.
Mm.
Because, a lot of times, if you look at even, I mean, the illustrations are getting better anyway, nowadays. But, you look at stuff from 30, 40 years ago, it's like the color tones are off, and everything.
Well, you
So,
know, often I'm starting a new kind of a brand, kind of. And
uh-huh.
I'm trying to go back to that time. I'm employing my stepdaughter because I have a graphics company. It's called Daisy Shadows,
Oh,
daisyshadows.com.
yeah, I
And
saw
so,
that in the video. I
yeah,
saw that. So
yeah,
that's
that's
yours too. That's
yeah,
nice. Okay.
yeah. And so I can't do everything. When people come to me for banners and posters and whatnot and websites, I would go crazy if I were doing everything. I don't even really do that stuff for myself anymore if I can help it. You
Mhm.
know, Sometimes I guess the control in me needs to do it, but really I wish I could just let go and outsource everything. So, but I
Yeah.
look back to the past regularly for inspiration. That was my
Mhm.
point.
Okay, that's your point. Okay. All right. And then all right, I wanted to talk about Hood Glory. Okay? So I'm going to show that so Hood Glory, where's your inspiration for Hood Glory, the name? It sounds like it's something right out of Crenshaw, but tell a little bit
Well,
about that and the inspiration for that.
so I was watching this movie with my husband. It was about a doppelganger, this very wealthy man who is escaping his problems in a bar and he sees a man who looks just like him.
Mhm.
He has an epiphany that he can switch places with this man and just be normal and not have all these problems of this rich man. And so somehow he talks the guy back to his room just off the fact that they look alike.
Uh huh.
And I believe I think he drugs the guy somehow. And when they wake up in the morning, um, the wealthy man has split. He's taken off, and the new rich man is there, and his chauffeur comes for him in this very fancy car. And I want to say it was from the 1950s
Mhm.
in England. And it had this license plate that was so beautiful that I said, I'm going to make a brand based on that license plate. So I went and jotted it down. I just sketched it, and then the hood glory uh, just came to me in wordplay. I can't really place that. I have a couple of other brands that also bounce around um,
Mhm.
hood glory. I probably have it in a notebook of mine, the details, or maybe I could pinpoint the inspiration. But
Mhm.
um, that's that license plate and hood glory came together perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. Okay, and we're going to show some of your products now. So, finance. How did you finance this? As you know, uh, you know, financing is probably one of the most difficult things for us to do when we start businesses because we don't have the resources. Okay, we can't just go to a bank and startup monies are very difficult to get a hold of. Even if you can get a hold of them, it's kind of unheard of now anyway for any new business to be able to go to a bank and get startup money. Okay, I had a guy call me a couple weeks ago about his business that he wants to start up, and he was like, "Well, where do you get the money? Whatever." Them days are kind of gone. I mean, there were initiatives that were back in the '60s and '70s, to you know, to have to get startup money. I mean, you might run across certain things, but America has gone through so many changes now
Yeah, that is
that
back when college was free in the
yeah.
60s. We need another movement for such things.
Yes, yes. So a lot of people, they have other ways of trying to raise the money, because to start a business, it does take a little bit of money. Now, depending on what type of business you start, is going to determine how much money you're going to need. Of course, restaurants being at the high end of a type of a business to start, because of all the equipment you need, all the regulations and everything that you need to get started. However, if you got an online business, or if you are at home manufacturer of a product or something like that, that might be a little bit easier to get involved in. And it might be a smarter move just all the way around, period. So, as we know, finance plays a chief role in the operation of any type of management, okay? It is essential to ensure that the organization's finance has been utilized properly to carry out major functions such as the creation of goods or services so that the customer's needs could be satisfied. Tell me, Jasmine, how did you incorporate finance in your business?
Um, because I started so young, um, I just kind of went for it. Um, I've done farmers markets. I've worked out of my home. I've had other people work for me out of their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything can kind of start from the ground up, and I believe that your business should pay for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that doesn't mean that that's the best way. It does. I mean, I'm constantly getting people trying to get me to take out a loan. I'm constantly getting people trying to offer me funding. I mean, all the
Okay.
time. But I haven't taken it because I don't want to be hooked up in that interest rate. And I
And debt is
just,
not good if you don't need it, you know?
if you don't need it, yeah, if you
That's
don't need it
right.
now, if you have a plan, like there's that thing, what's his name, Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about good debt. If your debt is generating a cash flow for you,
Mm-hmm.
that means you pay that debt with that money that you made from that debt, and you
Mm-hmm.
still got money afterwards, then that's different.
Right.
If your plan is that kind of plan, and you can get a money changer, if you will, to see that, then more power to you. If
Mm-hmm.
this is something that is a whim, and there's nothing wrong with whims, many great things start from whims.
Mm-hmm.
How can you break this down so that you can do it for free?
Mm-hmm.
Churches, all, for example, food products. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to make pies and you want to sell them to Ralph's, because Ralph's initiative and they want pies from the locals, but you don't have a certified kitchen. For
Mm-hmm.
one, now you can certify your own kitchen, because certified
Mm-hmm.
kitchens are very expensive. You can
Mm-hmm.
certify your kitchen at home, at
Mm-hmm.
least in California you can.
Yeah, I
And
seen in a few other states too, because I know in Minnesota I seen something on a news show that they was talking about some products that they were, and they were talking about it with Liberty, as though it's I don't know what the laws are, but check with your state,
that's right,
to
that's
find
right.
out,
And it's
but yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, no, no worries. And then churches. Uh, Churches all have certified kitchens, every single one.
Mhm.
So, what is your relationship like with your pastor?
Mhm.
What's your relationship like with your church?
Mhm.
How can what you want to do benefit the whole congregation?
Right.
So, there's so many people that need jobs.
S-
And they might,
Well, good
yeah, they,
jobs. You can
right,
find,
right,
like, if you're in Trump's America, you got a good job, but we know that's not true. Okay.
right,
So the
right,
thing is and two, like, how difficult they made it for black people to even get good jobs. I mean, you can get
right,
a job, but can you get a well-paying, sustainable job? You need
right.
to make the income so that you can afford that nice house that's gonna have a $2,500
And
mortgage.
this is everything. Some, how can I say, we as a people have to have an immigrant mentality.
Mhm.
We have to partner up.
Mhm.
I need to be five generations,
Mm-hmm.
multiple generations in a house.
Mm-hmm.
So how can mortgage be broken down? Or
Mm-hmm.
how can mortgage on a 4 unit apartment building be
Mm-hmm.
broken down
Mm-hmm.
so that, everybody can bring in what they can bring in and still everyone's above water?
Mm-hmm.
And so these opportunities that you can present to your church, write it up, bust out your Microsoft Word, your pen and paper, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
write it up, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and see what can come of it. Talk to some people. And,
Right.
it's a teaming up. Teaming up is huge.
Right. So financing, but like if you have, you have to look at what it is that you have available, okay, to for your business. You need to do a market analysis, and you need to find out what a cost analysis and find out what it is it's going to take for you to get started. So some of the first things that you're going to want to do is you need to get your business registered. You need to pay those fees. Generally, some states are different. Now, when I was in Las Vegas, it cost $700 to register a
For,
business in Las
wow.
Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so some states are very expensive. In the state of Minnesota, it's a lot cheaper. In Dallas, it's around $350 for the state to register a business. Okay, you can also do a DBA, but I don't recommend anybody doing a DBA. And the
Wow.
reason a DBA is because you have a tax liability, and if somebody wants to come and sue you for anything, you're protected more so if you have a limited liability company, okay, or if you're a corporation, okay.
But
So
that's where those state fees come in. That's that state fee you're talking about.
the
And
what?
the state fee that you're talking about,
Yeah,
that's what you're
those are
talking
those fees. DBAs are cheaper. I mean, most states are like $50 or so, but you generally are now. I know in the state of Minnesota, you have got to do a publication, so you got to announce it in some type of legal
about.
publication, which that's going to cost you too. So you add up the cost of doing that to the cost of getting that, that setting it up as a LLC or setting it up as a corporation. I mean, think about it. You know what
So
I
this,
mean?
this is the thing. Let me tell you what I do, what
Okay.
I've done for all my businesses.
Okay.
I have insurance. I have DBAs, so I can open up that bank account. So I can put money in, and my bank won't be like, where's this? So I can have people write checks in my business name, basically.
Uh huh.
And I have insurance insurance policy to cover myself as a crafter.
Mhm.
So you know, because incorporating can be intimidating.
Mhm.
At CVA, if you're outside the registrar and you got all those people hawking you to come register with their paper, you throw out a price.
Mhm.
I did DJs for $40.
Mhm.
So everything is negotiable.
Mhm.
There are particular counties where you want to get a sales permit. It might be $75. It might be maybe built into the event that you're doing. It might be
Mhm.
$150. Might not be anything. You
Mhm.
know, my let me see, my LA City tax and finance, that was free. They just want their piece at the end of the year.
Okay.
My seller permit, that was free. They just want me to file that paperwork.
Mhm.
So a lot of us don't want to file any paperwork.
Mhm.
But that paperwork is huge because when you're out selling and you get stopped, that's the difference between
That's
being able
right.
to be selling and having a stop sign.
Right. Well,
You
you
don't want
want to
anything to stand in front of you a good day.
now. You want to. I will say there's a period that starts at the beginning of your idea to actually implementing your business and getting it rolling. That period and starting it out in the beginning, you are not necessarily, I wouldn't say go register your business as a LLC or
Yeah, yeah, right,
or
right,
as a corporation. I say you need to try it out. Try your
right.
business out. See, how many sales you're going to get. If you start getting, finding that you got a product or service that that is, you're going to, kick it off. Especially that's for just a small little business or something like that. Now, if you're a restaurant, of course, you're not going to be able to do that. Okay, I mean, this just depends on the type of business that you have. You're just not going to be able to get away with stuff. You're not going to be able to manufacture a food product and get away with it. You're going to have to start out doing everything, legally and get your business registered. But, you know, I wanted to add on, so I kind of digressed down that road, but again, talking about finance, you're not able to go out and get a loan, okay, per se, right away. However, most banks will start looking at a loan, okay, giving you money if you have a successful business and it's been about 2 years. You got 2 years of taxes that you can show. So I just kind of wanted to reiterate that. Have you gone down that road? You said that you haven't taken any monies out, but have you looked at and what some of the qualifications that they told you that you needed to have, or have you did anything with the SBA at all, small business?
Yes, I have. I've gone through the process to invest in it for myself. I just haven't taken money.
Okay.
My business paid for itself. So I have some other businesses that are paying for themselves, and so what they call it rob Peter to pay Paul.
Okay. Okay.
I just go with the Peter and fund something, and then when Paul gets it, I put it back.
Okay. So you're a true entrepreneur. You're true.
Well,
yes, and I just want to point this out is that I don't know if you guys know. True entrepreneurship, I put myself in that category too. I've had 3 or 4 businesses in my lifetime, and all of them are very different from each other. You know what I mean? And but a person who has streams of income creates wealth. Okay, different streams of income. So they say that to become a millionaire, you need at least and this is an old article, but at least 7 streams of income. Okay, so that could be from having real estate. That could be from like you on the side you're selling insurance. You got an online business. You've got maybe a trust fund that somebody left to you.
Right.
It could be a lot of different ways that you could have a stream of income. Okay, so all right, let's talk about your products here. Okay, and under finance, I wanted to talk about this particular product. You sell this wonderful gift basket. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And I found this, I think it was on your site. And I don't know if everybody can see, but just look how beautiful your labels are. Your graphics are they're great. And it looked like this was probably one of the most expensive items, that you're selling here, because it's a bunch of different.
Yes, almost everything. It's a giant sampler pack.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed to impress and make the receiver happy.
Do you have this product right there with you? Do you have one of them you can show?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I haven't put them together, but I have a bunch of goodies in front of me if you want me to.
Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and start. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I took some stuff off of your site, like I was saying. Go ahead and show, hold up a few things that you have there. And so you got the soap and the skin oil?
Yeah, I didn't bring any soap, but I got this.
You got the raw shea butter? Okay.
This is plus. When I made this product, when I made this logo, I felt like I crossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so simple. My Aroma Stories girl, she's complex, she's colorful. There are emotions that are triggered by her.
Mm-hmm.
There are no emotions triggered by the Shea Plus logo. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, hold it back some. It's kind of blurry. Yeah. Now that's good. Shea. I can see it.
The rectangle here, the Shea Plus.
Yeah, that's one.
And as a designer, to take your emotions out of the art is important. As a designer for product, sometimes you need to just remove everything that complicates the brand. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time that I made something that was just appropriately simple, universal.
Right.
And so this was a big celebration. This is trademark. this
Okay,
brand.
that's
So
nice. And so
yeah,
now
I'm totally
talk about your packaging there, because that's one thing you're going to have to finance. Is your
it's true.
packaging and
But this
your product. Talk about the product and the some of the ingredients that you put in there, and so on.
this is raw shea butter. This product I use the most. I keep it in my purse. You see, it's slim. It's 1 ounce. It's in one of those stand up zipper pouches.
Uh huh.
And you just open it up. You unzip it like a Ziploc. And I use this basically on my hands, my lips.
Okay.
It's just shea butter inside.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it's filtered. It's natural. It's the good stuff. It smells good.
And what is shea butter made out of?
Shea butter is made from the shea tree or the karate tree or it's got tons of names.
Uh huh.
And this tree drops these nuts to the ground, and
Okay.
the women go out and collect the nuts, and they pound them and they boil the fat to the surface,
Okay.
and uh, they they stir it, they stir it, they stir it, they set it out to dry, to let the water evaporate, and that's the shea butter that we get. There are other processes of making shea butter, but
Okay.
there's plenty of the people still make it, and you can get it from them.
Okay.
And
And so, are you
uh,
buying it direct from another black-owned business, another manufacturer? But how
it's
do you
not a
get it?
black owned, it's not a black owned business, but
Uh huh.
it's a melanated owned business.
Okay. Okay.
So in business, I mean, you'll make connections, you'll make friends based on the amount of time you've been spending with people, and this is something that's important to finance. Okay,
Okay.
so I have a friend with a Pakistani gentleman.
Uh huh.
Anything I need, this man will buy for me
Mhm.
because he knows I will buy from him. If
Okay.
it's something that I cannot afford to buy in a in on by the pallet,
Okay.
no problem. I go talk to my contact. He will buy that pallet, and
Okay.
then he will increase the price by a very small amount, and then I can buy from him.
Okay. Okay. Because I
So that
have seen some Africans, they're doing a lot of the importing, of the shea butter. I
hmm
have seen that you can buy it raw. They're making it over in Africa.
Ghana, Nigeria.
Yeah,
Well,
are they
Nigeria,
getting it from an African? I mean, with that being said, is it coming from Africa, or is it, where is
yeah,
it coming from? Or is it
coming,
coming
it's
from
coming
China?
from
Where is it coming from?
no, it's coming from Africa, but
Okay.
it's it's coming from Africa. Now,
Okay.
is it going up to Europe first? Is it going up through the Middle East first? Is
Okay.
it coming directly from Africa? Um, so shea butter goes all over the world.
Right.
So
Right.
my shea butter comes from Ghana, and so
Okay.
I have a contact who buys it, uh, very large quantities of it from Ghana,
Okay.
and then I
Good.
buy it from him.
Good. So we are
So,
employing black people here when we buy
oh
it.
yeah, yeah, no doubt.
I
But
just was.
in business, you meet a lot of people. Whenever I meet someone from another part of the world, whenever I speak to a man from India, I'm like, hey, you got any sandalwood?
Mhm.
Is your family in the sandalwood business? If
Mhm.
you meet somebody from Haiti, it's like,
Mhm.
hey, so what's up with the vetiver?
Mhm.
So that's the beauty of meeting people from far off lands. What do
Mhm.
they have
Mhm.
that you need or that you're using already? And maybe you can get it at a better price, maybe not.
Mhm.
Oftentimes I've met people who have faith on there, but they can't get it economically for me.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Mhm.
and I mean, you want to have your allegiances, yes, but you also have allegiances to the people that you're doing business with now.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah, the
So,
shea butter, as you guys can see it too. Here's a better picture of it. what's really nice about your products is that they are ready to be put on the shelf. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
if there are any stores out there that if you've got an African store, any store really, and you would like to have these products, you know, you guys can contact Jasmine. And Jasmine, go ahead and give, how you want people to contact you right now.
I'm
Um,
Sal at aromastories.com. I'm aromastories at Gmail. You can go to aromastories.com and see all of my products and purchase them. You can go to bodybutterworld.com and purchase my products. I have a very important rep in Los Angeles who handles all of my Los Angeles customers. So, but all that information is available at aromastories.com, or just shoot me an email. You can call me, 310-882-3111, 310-882-3111. I'm very text message friendly. And yeah, I'll connect you with the goodies.
okay, great. I just want you're gonna give it again to for this podcast, but I just kind of wanted to you know at the end of the podcast, I wanted you to express that. So if anybody wanted to kind of go and toggle over and look at your site while we were talking. Okay, so the next thing I want to discuss that's important here for for running on operating a business is that I wanted to talk about strategy. Okay. Um, Strategy is very important. Um, so let me get to the right screen. Yeah, I guess I should have. Here's some of the products here. Her product design is very nice. So product design is very important. So we kind of already talked about that, your labeling and everything. It looks very nice. It's store ready. Your strategy in an operation management refers to planning tactics that could help them to optimize the resources and having a competitive edge over others. Business strategies imply to supply chain configuration, which we're going to talk about a little bit. Your sales, how, who are you going to be selling to and targeting, target populations if you're only making a product that's only, good for certain populations. Your capacity to hold